Hey queens, you know I love a good makeup trend, but not all of them work for us. And today I'm going to be breaking down one that I think may just do that. It may actually work for us. For those that have dry skin, mature skin, fine lines and wrinkles, and are looking for something a little different. You may have heard the term cloud skin, so what I'd like to do today is break it down for you, explain what it is, and how to get it. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Amy. I am a full-time corporate gal in the tech space and a part-time makeup artist and beauty educator. I'm so glad you're here, so please welcome to my channel and let's get started. So cloud skin, if you've seen this all over social media and wondered what it is or how to make it work for mature skin, I've got you covered. Think soft focus and blurred radiance, right? It's going to be a gorgeous balance between glow and matte. It's that keeps the skin looking fresh, but it's not going to emphasize fine lines and wrinkles. And it's not the glass skin that we have been seeing quite a bit of over the last several years. Glass skin can sometimes make mature skin look greasy, or it can actually highlight texture, so it doesn't always work for us. Cloud skin is the reverse, right? It's going to minimize texture. It's going to give you that beautiful, soft, focused glow without making you look shiny or flat. So you're going to look hydrated, but you're also going to look softly blurred. So why cloud skin works for women over 50, could even work for women over 40. Really just depends on your skin type. It's going to blur your fine lines and pores. It's going to hydrate and maintain that blurred finish without making you look greasy. And honestly, it works for all skin types. So how do you achieve it? Well, the first thing you want to make sure is that your skin is well hydrated. Now, I actually applied all of my skincare earlier this morning, so it's had plenty of time to absorb into my skin. You don't want to be super dewy, wet hydrated. You really want to give your skin time to absorb whatever you've applied before you start going in with the makeup. Now, you might notice that I am looking maybe a little bit shiny here, and that's because what I used this morning tends to give me more of a glowy finish, but hydrated skin is really the best canvas when it comes to applying any kind of makeup. So we want light, breathable layers, right? That's going to sink in fast and that makeup is going to cling to. You can use a primer if that's your preference. Typically, I don't tend to use primers only because I use my skincare as my primer and I don't have a lot of large pores. I only have just maybe a little bit right in through here. So I am today for you guys going to go use a primer. Now the Milk Hydro Grip or the the e.l.f. Power Grip, those are good primers for the cloud skin. The NYX Plump Right Back is a good one. I honestly don't have any of those, so what I'm using today is the NYX Marshmallow Primer, which I actually love. It's kind of a cream texture, and I'm putting it on this side of my hand because, as you can see, I've been playing with some colors today. And I'm just going to use a teeny tiny bit, and I'm going to just massage it in with my fingers. I don't apply this particular product or any primer with a brush because I really want to get it into the skin. So I'm just going to apply it with my fingers only where I need it, which is right in through here where I tend to see pores. And then I will probably apply a little bit to my forehead where I have fine lines because I want to give my skin every chance it can have for that makeup to settle in the way I want it to. I'm just going to work this in, and then I'm going to put a little bit onto my forehead. And today has been a day, you guys. Playing around earlier, putting on my eye makeup, and ended up getting freaking concealer on my sleeve because I wasn't paying attention and knocked it over. And to be perfectly frank, I have a confession. I did this video last weekend, recorded the whole thing because I had new lights and I was all excited. Let's try the new lights. Let's film. And when I got it all done and sent it off to be edited, because I suck at editing and it's not my favorite thing to do, so I outsourced that. When I got it back, I was like, oh my Lord, my face looks like I am sweating. Like literally, I was so shiny. And basically the problem was my video was overexposed. The lights were too bright. It just didn't work. So I am doing this over and hopefully it'll be better this time. So now, when it comes to foundation, you want a foundation that has more of a satin finish and something with light to medium buildable coverage. Skin tints aren't gonna work for this, and you don't want anything very heavy or very matte for a foundation. So a couple that you can try that I happen to have on hand, so I will show you what these are. The Revolution Makeup Skin Silk. It's really what they call the IRL. This one it's called a serum foundation. This one's a little bit too light for me, so I'm not gonna use this today. The Armani Luminous Silk. Now I know this is a higher end foundation, but do yourself a favor and get the small bottles, right? I like the small bottles because I like to keep them in my kit. A little goes a long way, and this has got a really, really nice finish. I waited a long time before I bought this, you know, even after I'd heard so many good things about it. And you know, I'm really glad that I finally picked it up, but get the small ones. You don't need the full size. But foundation I'm gonna tell you about today actually kind of blew my mind. And let me tell you why. When I saw someone else use it, another makeup artist use it, I was like, there's no way that that's gonna work. And she applied it, and when she zoomed in with the camera, I was like, oh my. So it's called Faux Era, I think. You can find it on Amazon, of course, right? What can't you find on Amazon? It is a soft matte, long wear, medium coverage that is buildable, but the really cool thing about this, it's $9. Like, I could not believe the coverage I have gotten out of this for $9. And what's even better, if you buy the 2-pack, it ends up being $7.50 a bottle. So you can't go wrong there. Now, what I am gonna do is I have a little bit of redness around here because as I'm aging, all the little capillaries around my nose are starting to pop out. Yay, aging, right? So I just want to put a little bit of green concealer over that before I go in with the foundation. I'm just going to work that in. And then I also have a wee bit of hyperpigmentation, and I don't know if you can see that on camera because of the lighting, but I just press this in. I'm using my fingers because they're nice and warm. I like to apply with a brush, but then really press it in with my fingers. But on this side of my face, I have some hyperpigmentation like right here, and then a little bit on my jawline. So the color correcting palette that I'm using today is from NYX. You can use any brand you want. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this light peach because I'm fair skinned, and I'm just gonna use my finger. I'm just gonna dab it on those spots where I have hyperpigmentation. That in those spots. Now normally, when I apply foundation, my favorite application method is a brush. If I want more full coverage, I'll go with a denser brush. If I want more of a airbrushed, you know, blown out kind of coverage, I'll go with a fluffier brush. But for this application, I'm actually gonna go with a damp sponge. And I'm going to get it damp with this Makeup Forever Mist and Fix because I don't have water right near me. So I'm just gonna get that damp. You only need to make it slightly damp. I'm going to put a little bit of this foundation on the back of my hand. You can see that it's not really slipping down, so it's going to be a little bit of a thicker consistency. And we're going to start. The trick would be to start where you need the most coverage and then work your way out. For me, I have some redness here, and like I said, I do have the hyperpigmentation, but I can spot apply there. But I'm just going to go in, and I'm going to start from the center of my face and work my way out with this damp sponge. Now, the thing I like about this foundation, it feels light. It does not have a scent that I have detected. And coverage surprisingly goes a long way. I can do this whole side of my face with that one little pump, and I can probably do half my forehead as well. And I'm just going to press it in, making sure I'm getting all those spots on the side of my face. Nose, just work it in. I'm going to work it into my ears, and I'm going to work it down my neck as well because I don't want to look like a floating head. I want everything blended. I'm very fair skinned and I don't tend to use any sort of self tanner, so that's why I always bring my foundation down to make sure everything is matching. I don't do self tanner purely because I'm lazy. I don't have time for it. Let's get the other side of my face. And these sponges, you guys, they are so good. You can get these on Amazon. You can get a pack of, how many are here? There is six of these sponges. They're called Paw Paw. So squishy. I love them. And for the price, you don't feel like cleaning it, just toss it and get a new one. My ears. I'm gonna go down my neck. on this side. And then let's just get my forehead. I'm not actually putting any more foundation on the back of my hand. It's on the sponge, and what's left on the back of my hand is enough to get my forehead. So now before we conceal, I want to show you a couple of tricks when it comes to concealer that I've been doing for a long time. One of the things about concealer when it comes to mature eyes is you want to make sure that the skin underneath your eyes is well hydrated. Otherwise, that concealer is going to stick to everything. So there's a couple of different products you can use. One I really like, there's two I really like actually. This is from Rock, and it's their multi-correction Revive and Glow Eye Balm. It's almost like a freaking chapstick, right? So you can just go under your eyes with that, and that's actually, well, okay, half my stuff fell down. You can just go under your eyes with this, and I always put something like this down before I actually go in with concealer. I'm just gonna swipe it underneath the eyes, and I'm gonna actually work it in with my fingers just to make sure it's really sunken in there. The other thing that I typically will do is I will color correct right here because, you know, I'm getting older, I'm losing a lot of volume. It's not so much that it's dark circles, but because of the amount of volume I've lost, it does look like I have darkness there. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of light peach corrector, and I'm gonna work that in. I usually do this with my concealer brush. So let me get that. And the brushes that I'm using today are primarily from Delium. It's a really good quality brush brand, and they won't break the bank. And I will link to everything that I am using today in the notes underneath the video. So I'm gonna keep the sponge handy because I'm just gonna go back over and make sure everything's well blended. I don't want any harsh lines. And then when it comes to concealer, less is more. Regardless of what kind of makeup look you're going for, when you have mature skin, less is more. You can always build it up, right? So I'm only gonna apply it where I need it, and then when I'm blending, I'm gonna make sure I'm blending up because we wanna continue to keep things lifted because gravity does enough to pull everything down. A couple of good options for the cloud skin look is you can use the NYX Bear With Me. Love this because it comes in a little pump and everything's plastic. So these, I got a bunch of these in my kit because I can just slide them in and I don't have to worry about anything breaking or leaking. I don't happen to have my shades, so I'm not going to use that today. Another one is L'Oreal True Match. That's a really good one for this type of look. But the one I'm going to use today is from a brand I had not heard of until my dear friend, Kalonda Casey, introduced me to the brand. It's someone she knows. And if you guys are not aware of who Kalonda is, she is a beauty artist, beauty coach, lifestyle. She has a YouTube channel and she focuses primarily on women over 60. She and I have been friends for a long time, and she has blown up quite a bit on social media, and it's been so fun to watch her grow. We used to both be in direct sales together. That's how we met, and we happen to live within like an hour of each other. So we've just been fast friends for a while, but she introduced me to this brand called Maxine's Revenge, and this is their French face concealer. And when we got together about a month or so ago, she goes, "You have got to try this." She's like, "It's freaking amazing for mature skin." Now, I don't typically go right in with the doe foot. It's just my thing. It's entirely up to you. I'll either take my brush and go on the doe foot, or I'll put a little on the back of my hand and use my brush. And then you just want to apply it strategically, only where you need it, right? So I need it in the inner corner. I need it here to lift, and you only need a small amount of this. And I'm gonna just get a little bit more so I can come here, and I'm gonna put a little bit on the tip of my nose, and then I'm gonna put a little bit just on the edge of my lip to lift it because, you know, the skin's starting to sag and everything's getting pulled downwards. And you guys, another good makeup artist to watch I learned so much from, especially when it comes to mature skin, is Vincent Ford. He has just the coolest techniques, and one that I need to play with a little bit more that I saw him do the other day with concealer. I had never seen the technique before, so I'm gonna practice it a few more times and see if I can get it right. And then I'm gonna show it to you guys because I save every single one of his videos that I watch. He's amazing. I'm always looking for artists that, you know, really take the time to show application techniques for on mature skin, because there's honestly not enough. They always show it on, you know, young, tight skin, and it doesn't necessarily work for us that way. So I'm just going to make sure that that's all pressed in. And then, believe it or not, I am going to powder. Now, I know you're probably screaming at the video and saying, are you nuts? You have mature skin. Why are you using powder? You have to. You have to. You've got to set that skin. You've got to set that makeup. And powder's going to do it. But here's the thing. For us, we just have to make sure we're using the right powder in the right way. And I know some of you are probably heartbroken when they changed the formula of the Prism Libre powder, that one shade that we all love that now is like super glowy. So I went on the hunt looking for alternatives. Makeup Forever has a really nice one. It's called Twist and Light. It's got the 3 different shades. What's a little bit different about this one is the 3rd shade is more of a blue as opposed to like that pinky purplish shade. But you just would twist this and it'll come in the center of the container. And then another one is Moira. Now, I was introduced to Moira during when I was taking my makeup classes. I had never heard of the brand before. It's a very budget-friendly brand, but they also have one that's called Set and Correct, and it has the 3 shades. And I feel like this is a sleeper brand. You know, I don't feel like a lot of people may know about it, but they've got good quality products. Like, I really like their cream eyeshadows. And so far, I really like their powders. But the one I'm going to use today is from e.l.f. It is their Halo Glow setting powder, the loose one, not the pressed powder, because pressed powder at times can be a little bit heavy for mature skin. They have this one in a pink. The one I'm using today is translucent. This one actually, I think it's called Light. And I just put a little bit in my cap. I'm gonna work it into my puff. I'm gonna use a powder puff, and I'm really gonna work it into the puff, and I'm only gonna apply it where I need it. Because all I want to do is I want to set where I have the most movement on my face, which is right around my eyes, my nose, and then I'm going to put a little bit on my forehead. And usually what I'll do, and I just didn't think to do it today, is I'll check to make sure that I don't have any creasing or any makeup or concealer or anything settling before I apply any powder. Just get a tiny bit more, work it into the puff, and I'm just gonna press. I'm only pressing on my forehead where my fine lines are, right here, because you do get movement here. Okay, so that's done. Now, I am gonna spray, because what I wanna do is I wanna get that powder to melt in with the rest of the makeup I've done thus far. So I can take the same spray I've used before, and I'll be honest, I use these sprays all throughout my makeup application because it keeps the skin hydrated, it gets things melted together. It's just a technique I've seen done several times by several different, you know, celebrity artists, well-known makeup artists. And then we're gonna talk blush, right? I'm gonna do a cream blush because that works best. And then I'm going to show you another new product, new to me anyway, that I've absolutely fallen in love with. So the blush that I'm using today, this one's from Westman Atelier. This is the Baby Cheeks in the shade Mimi. And again, I don't go directly into or on my face with anything. Everything typically will go on the back of my hands first. So Mimi is, I think it's this shade right here, if you can see that. And I'm gonna take, let's see here. My favorite brush that I wanna use is Dirty. So we're gonna have to find another one. The BK Beauty 109, I absolutely love for cream products, for cream blush especially. But I've got 2 or 3 of them, and of course, they are all dirty. So I think today, this one's a little bit bigger than I would like, but this is the Delium 968. And I'm actually gonna go from the blush to the brush, and I'm just gonna work this in. And the blush is not sparkly. This one happens to be like a nude natural shade, because I'm just sitting around today. It's raining outside, it's yucky. we're not going to do a whole heck of a lot today, so I just wanted to keep it more natural and not go all crazy. And I did this video last weekend. We were actually getting ready to go to dinner with friends, so I used a bit of a bolder blush for more of a glam look. So I want to keep this on the high points. And a good rule of thumb is if you're looking in the mirror, right, and you look at your pupil and go from like the center of your pupil outward, and then how high up you go, that's a matter of personal preference. When it comes to makeup, there's absolutely no rules. You just need to do what works best for your face and what you feel confident in. I'm just gonna go over this again, work that in. So again, the whole purpose of Cloud Skin is for that soft, blurred finish. If you find that when you've applied your blush that you either came in too close, up too high, down too low, just take your sponge or your makeup brush, whatever it was that you used for your foundation, and just go back over it. You don't need to put any additional product on it. You can just go right back over it. You want to avoid anything that's going to be heavily matte or anything that's going to be overly shimmery and give you that you know, kind of like baked flat look, right? Another good blush that I've been testing out, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this, it's called Prime Prometics, and it's actually formulated, their products are actually formulated for women over a certain age because of what our skin goes through as far as the different changes. So I've got one called Nude. These products just kind of give that glowy finish without, oh, and I love this. It's so satisfying to hear the snap of a magnetic packaging. And this one's called Peony. So this one's going to be a little brighter. This will be a good summer color. It just kind of gives you that soft glowy finish without being overly heavy. So you can see what those two look like there. So Peony and Nude. But I'm gonna just kind of give myself a little oomph. So the product that I wanted to show you that I had fallen in love with, I've been using every day. If you've heard the term bronzer, late 2024 or even, you know, going into 2025, basically what that means is it's a product that is a shade that could be a blush or it could be a bronzer. It's like in between. And it's one of those shades where it basically cuts down on a step that you would have to do in your makeup routine. So I came across this one from RMS Beauty and it's called Crystal Slipper. I'm in love. As you can tell, I've been using it a whole lot. Put a little bit of this on my brush. This is an old brush. This is an old Wet n Wild brush, but I like the angle of it. And although it looks like it may have a shimmer, it's not like overly shimmery. And I'm just gonna dust a little bit across the top of my forehead because if I was out in the sun, right, this is where the sun would hit. It would hit me here, it would hit me here, and it would hit me here because those are the high points. Just gonna put a little on the bridge of my nose and a little across the tops of my cheeks just to give me a little extra, because why not? And you don't need a lot. I'm just gonna go back over, make sure everything's blended. I'm using the back side of this sponge because I don't have any spray there. This is the dry side. And then I am going to go over with just a wee bit more powder just because I want everything on my face set. I don't want anything to move, but I'm not using the puff this time. I'm just gonna swirl a little bit on a fluffy brush. And I'm just gonna tap in so that I'm not like getting makeup on my phone, getting makeup on my shirt, because that can happen. And it's just a light dusting. And then spray one more time. And then if you live in a humid climate, and you really wanna lock this in, I would recommend going over this with another spray, but slightly different, not the really wet sprays like this. You're gonna wanna use one of my favorites that I've been using for probably 3-4 years now, which is the Melanie Mills setting spray. This is an aerosol spray. So this was my favorite, super light, does not make me feel sticky like the one from, I think it's what, L'Oreal, that's more like hairspray. There's a couple other brands that sell an aerosol setting spray like this. I know One Size does and Krylon does. So you have options out there, but if it were summertime and I'm going outside and I'm gonna be sweating, I would definitely be spraying my face with this. You can also use it on the body if you ever use like, you know, those shimmery body lotions or body makeup or self-tanner. You can set your body with this as well. So I'm gonna finish it off with just a little bit of lip oil. This is called Lip Retreat from Wander Beauty. I love this stuff. It's got such a great color and it feels so nice. Not gonna bother with liner. My lips are like super dry because I've been testing a new product that I am gonna tell you guys about on another day. So they need some oils. All right, there you have it. I've locked it all in with my mist and it's going to blend all that makeup together. Couple others that you could try if you wanted. The Milani Make It Last Dewy Mist is a real nice one. But I just love that this is kind of a diffused glowy skin look, right? It gives you more of a fresh natural feel to your skin, and it's not overly shiny and wet looking like that dewy glass skin that we've been seeing, like I said, for the last couple of years. So what do you think? Would you try this cloud skin look? Drop a comment below because I am interested to see if you found this helpful, if this is something you've heard about. If you found this helpful, if you would hit the like, subscribe, and turn on your little notification bell so that when I do upload videos, which right now, due to my work and home life schedule, is about every other week. I'm hoping to be able to get to a point where it will be weekly. But I would greatly appreciate your feedback. If there's a video that you want to see me do, I would be happy to do that. Just let me know in the comments. And the other thing I would greatly appreciate is if any of y'all know of a headband that does not hurt behind the ears, please drop that link in the comments because I have tried so many of them and I just can't do it. So I end up wearing these goofy little barrettes. So that's it. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend and I will see you in my next video.